Another session of our beautiful live Ascension wisdoms, light wisdoms. We're so very grateful. And I'm going to do some channeling today. I'm going to hopefully bring through some new information. I always love talking about the soul's blueprint. So we're going to talk a little bit about the soul's blueprint today and a channeled message that I have here for the teams. I'm so very excited to be in this new energy. Really excited. We're moving forward into new dynamics and new timelines. So it's going to be really important, as we've been talking about for the past 2 years, that the federations have been kind of preparing us for the galactic meshing that we feel all of these cosmic codes, the creational codes that we're being bathed with. I know I absolutely feel it. I'm having more and more visions, so I'm going to share a few of those with you today, and allowing ourselves to wake up every day as a universal being of light, allowing us to wake up every day as to who we are as Metatronic light, and to understand that we have many soul fragments and aspects of who we are, and integrating those 51% of our soul fragments. It doesn't matter what body it takes on, or whether it's a light or a dark aspect. All of those energies allow us to learn more about who we are as the whole aspect of Source Creator. And so it's really important that we find time throughout our day to refine who we are and breathe and ground, because the energies will be moving quickly. They showed me the next couple of weeks are going to be kind of a dynamic portal, if you will. And there's going to be a lot of different energies that are sorting itself out in the new ground, if you will. And so it's like spreading a whole bunch of new seeds in the ground, and each seed is going to find its own place to find its bedding, to find its rooting, if you will. And so the energies are going to be new. They're going to be allowing itself to create, finding its new vibration, finding its magnetic attraction. And so all of those energies are going to feel a little bit bumpy, they said. And so it's okay to have that, it's just like an amusement park ride. There's going to be some rides that are smooth and exhilarating. There's some rides that'll be a bit bumpy. And then as you get the energy churning and you get used to the energy, you get understanding of the energy and flowing with the energy, you get used to how to work with certain energies and moving through those dichotomies. Because remember, every spiral of ascension, we're going to be offering ourselves different portals and pathways and different detours, if you will, so that we can navigate in new energy. And we don't want to return back to old patterns. So our grounding foundational message today is breaking free. How does the breaking free add to your evolution? The 3 E's. Every new spiral of ascension is offering us new opportunities with new energies, with new tribe, with new experiences. And those 3 E's are so important to activate what is held within you, whether it be a DNA code, whether it be a gift, a skill, or an activity, for you to continually bring forward new aspects of you. Because if we're not honoring, say this person's gifts was an herb, to work with herbs, and this person's gifts was to work with nature and the topography, this person's gifts was to work with the fire elements. So all of these aspects require different levels of the 3 E's. So if this being is not working in nature and in gardens and working with the ancestors and doing channelings and writing down notes and working with herbs, this being isn't going to have its fullest participation with its soul fragment of being an herbologist, working with tinctures and things like that. And so this element back here worked a lot of its lifetime in the element of fire. So how to honor the element of fire, and what does that mean for your path now? And that is what I've called the churning. The churning is knowing that everything is an infinity. Whatever soul fragment that you're working with carries its highest attributes, and it carries also its weaknesses. So it's up to you to go within and find out what are the soul woundings for the characters that you're integrating. And that is just by doing your daily Ascension pathwork. And once you get used to doing your daily Ascension pathwork, you're sitting down and you're working with, what did this soul fragment have to teach me in the divine feminine energy, the divine masculine energy? Because it's going to directly relate to your life right now. How is your life unfolding right now? What are the themes you're working on? And it directly relates to the grander perspective of who you are, which is the soul's blueprint, which I love talking about. Because the soul's blueprint wraps all of that you are into a beautiful storyboard. The soul's blueprint is the storyboard of who you are throughout all creation. It's who you are cosmically. Who are you in those alien fragments of yours? Who are you in the human fragments of yours? Who are you in the Atlantean and all these different aspects of the Mirian lifetimes and the off-world lifetimes, and all of these aspects of who you are source. And as that new awakening of your 3 A's, accepting, allowing, acknowledging all that you are a source creator, the wholeness of who you are a source creator, then you're allowing these soul fragments to have their say, to have their focal point. And it's just similar to what many of the 3D psychologists and counselors have talked about as the inner child. It's very similar to the inner child having its playtime, if you will. So the fire playtime and the strength and the divine energies. Maybe this lifetime was purely living itself within the masculine energies, and it needs to work on the feminine energies. So you'll find that the direct links between what you're going through right now and what this character had gone through in its lifetime, it's all concurrent lifetimes that we're talking about now. So all of these are mirrored experiences, if you will, to bring forward those energies that you're here to work with. You're here to honor, you're here to integrate, you're here to churn into a new vibrational you, because your version of you now is a higher version of all of these put together. So just know that your highest version of you now is the version of you that is the commandmentship to bring all of these energies in to harmonize as one. That's why you're experiencing it in the now, because you're giving yourself the 3 A's, the acknowledgement and the acceptance and the allowance to know that, yes, I can start alchemizing these aspects of me. They each hold a divine feminine perspective. They each hold a divine masculine perspective. What were their strengths and weaknesses, and how can I churn this into a new masterful experience of being me, because you're going to be looked at as a role model. These are advanced teachings. These are soul progression teachings. And of course, to have a higher consciousness, you have to understand how the soul progresses through its various characters. As we talked about in our last video, your various aspects of a play. You can be the antagonist, you can be the protagonist, you can be, the one that takes the back seat, you can be the one that's driving, you can be the one that's setting up the, the stage, props, if you will. Everyone has their role, and everyone has their importance to bring forward, to put on that stage, if you will. But each and every one of your characters are still important to the overall aspect of you, the dodecahedron. This person that worked with a fire element in that lifetime is needed in your now moments. Teams will guide you, and your teams will inspire you and create circumstances and events for you so that you get used to working with the fire element, say in a divine feminine body. And in that respect, this is your highest version of now moment, so that you can work with all of the attributes and all of the weaknesses and all of the lessons that each one of your soul fragments had to provide you, and then bring it into a new churning of now, breaking free from all the illusions and the limitations of those patterns that each one of these characters were held within. Because that's why you're doing your alchemy, that's why you're doing your ascension pathwork, is because each one of these characters held a lower consciousness than you do right now. That's why your now moment is your highest level of consciousness to alchemize and bring in all of these aspects. And of course, remember that those ones that are above you, if you will, from the 13th dimensional down, perspectives of you, all of those other soul fragments that are held in higher consciousness throughout the all of you, they're trickling down the wisdoms and the informations and the healings that you need so that you can become this higher version of you. And that's what we've called is the soul infused version of you, through which I've often given myself as an example. The reason why I've been able to survive through what I have is because this soul fragment of me understands alchemy and constantly churning and alchemizing anything that is brought forward so that I can use the strengths of the divine feminine masculine energies and be completely translateral in my using of energies, and that's being fully balanced so that you're not thrown off course by either by whatever the challenges that are put before you, especially when there's so many dichotomies right now of people pulling and pushing for your energy. You have to stand within that higher sense of self, that higher sense of knowing, so that you're the one that is churning the energy, and you're the one that is determining what energy is needed right now, what are the lessons that are required right now, so that you're becoming a whole soul infused being. And it's just, as we said the last video, those that can say that they're a master and those that are actually doing the work, it takes a lot of time and reflection and honor with Source Creator, so that you're actually taking these experiences and you're actually working with it, and you're reflecting and you're observing. So it's very important that you have that reflective time, is that you observe, how did I feel? How did I honestly feel in that reflection, in that experience with that person? Did I handle my communication in the highest level of ways? Did I allow myself vulnerability? So check in with yourself if you have an experience coming up that your teams have set for you. And I've often said, sometimes too, ask your teams to bring forward situations where you can test your skills in communication. You can test your skills in the alchemy that you have learned, because that's what your teams are there for. They're there to inspire where are the outstanding wounds in your soul's blueprint. What is next on that experience journey for you? And can you come into this new now moment of balance and centeredness to know that you are the heart-centered commandmentship of knowing how to navigate and alchemize and allow yourself the communicatory experiences of capacity and aptitude, always leveling yourself up higher and higher and higher with grounded, stable feet so that nothing is going to throw you off the path of, just standing in a higher version of you. And that's gaining in your consciousness. So consciousness is really important to grasp. Consciousness is something that very few people will kind of get the handle on because it is the seeing and the perceiving and the experiencing the 3 E's of itself with itself. So that's source creator. So the more that you're doing your reflective work of these soul fragments, whatever these soul fragments were offering you in whatever timelines, Holy Source Creator, can we please create safety and expressiveness in the chat rooms, please? Anybody throwing energies? Please protect my throat chakra. Thank you, Lord Michael. Return all energies back to those that are sending it. All of my chats are being watched for any of those that sign on in groups, and there are investigations still going with my chat lines. I do have my human rights, and I do have my right to speak as I speak. So if you don't like the messages on this channel, then you can move because it is your free will to be here. And so in these aspects of the soul fragment healing, your soul blueprint offers you these aspects of yourself to come forward in the divine feminine masculine energies and just stand in a stronger version of now with your feet firmly planted, and you're has the compass within you, so that it's only your compass within that allows that constant churning and constant alchemizing. And so part of the message today was that honoring and understanding how you are threaded within the soul's blueprint that encapsulates all of your soul lifetimes, on planet, off planet, in different variations of bodies and genders, variations of consciousness levels. Because you are an infinite being of source creator, you are in the image of the mother and the father. Therefore, your consciousness level as a divine feminine, divine masculine are very expansive in the smaller categories and in the grander categories. So just know that you have access to the inhale and the exhale of the expansion, the breathing and the contracting as the source creator is. That's why it's important that you do the observation and reflection work. That's what I call Ascension pathwork. So if you want to book a session with me on how to do that, what way to do that, Source Creator did show me this week that there will be many coming forward in the purity of their hearts that choose to move forward in 5D alignment, that would like to work with me and have mentorship guiding sessions with me. Those are the only ones that will be kind of pushed through the gates, if you will, to work with me, are those that have purely vetted by their guides and my guides, so that my time and my energy is no longer wasted. And the sessions will be obviously paid because I don't do what I do for free. And that is just honoring and learning how to harmonize yourself as your source creator, as the highest version within your higher self, and getting to know working with observation and reflection with your soul's blueprint individually. Along with the sacred trinity, which is what every soul blueprint contains, is that sacred trinity. And that is the only thing that you should really be focusing on. And this is where most people that have been doing secret cults and covens and Masonic groups and corrupt church and state, everything has been designed backwards as far as the outer focus. And this is why so many people are feeling lost. So many people are feeling as if they have no idea what they're doing and what's going on. Because as we enter into higher refined light, it's going to force you to go more and more within. And if you don't know who you are, and if you don't have the understanding of how to move through life, honoring and calling in and harmonizing your soul fragments, you will feel lost. You're going to feel battered around because your energy, you're not firm in who you are. Therefore, you're being chaotic and allowing the energies of the outer to be your guide. The outer is never your guide. The inner is always your compass. So if you're not used to working as the inner compass and working with your higher self, and if you're not used to working with your soul's blueprint, if you don't know who you are and you're not working on a daily basis on a sense of self, then these ascension energies, these cycles of ascension in the new spiral of now are going to get very bumpy. Those that know who they are, those that have a higher sense of self, a more firm and grounded sense of self, not that you want to remain rigid. You don't always want to remain in the same sense of self. What I mean by sense of self is that you're not going to give your power away to outer experiences because of whatever they're going to sell you in the moment. You have a sense of self with you in spirit. You have a sense of self with speaking your truth in the 3 E's and the 3 A's. That's what we mean. But allow yourself to flow in between all of these soul fragments and allow yourself that harmonization and that churning every new ascension cycle. You don't want to be so rigid that you never change. That's what we're talking about today, is breaking free. And we're gonna give you some inspirations and some really empowering experiences as to why it's so important that we break free. It's very important that we break free of the patterns of where this character was patterned in its lifetime. Where was this character patterned in its lifetime? Where was this character patterned in its lifetime? And also, too, they're just showing me those of you that are artists, those of you that are writers and authors, fiction or nonfiction, we can kind of see how these characters that are built up, and you can kind of see just by looking at them visually. And this is where sometimes the projections of our collective also allow us to pull away from expectations and projections in our collective. You know, where did this character here have its stringencies and rigidity? I mean, because it's all rock, right? It's like molten rock. And it doesn't have a lot of flexibility and fluidity between its aspects of divine feminine and masculine. So you can look at the characters of whatever it is you're developing and say, where were the character, how you're developing the character, where are its weaknesses, where are its strengths. And we often do this when we're designing playwright and we're looking at characters for movies. You know, how are the characters inter-engaging with each other and meshing with each other? How are their soft and their hard points working with each other? Those are the same things that you're doing with your own soul's blueprint. Where were the falls and the fallacies in this character? Were they working between a balanced and harmonized experience and allowing itself to be vulnerable, to take in the intuitive information, to take in the deep soul understanding which the divine feminine can offer you? But you can't do it if you're not allowing yourself those energies and those times for reflection and softening, if you will. So every one of these characters allows you a wider scope of creative foreplay. The creative foreplay is how are you designing, as we stated last video, life unfolding is like a stage. You're actually in a play at all times, playing against other versions of yourself. Those that come before you are other versions of yourself that are assisting you in amplifying those aspects or those characteristics and those magnetized energies that you're attracting in that time. So that might be where we just said, you might be looking for a mentor to work more within your spiritual practice of being a higher version of you. You might be looking for, a physical person to help you work with your body elements, because you're a multidimensional being. It's going to be more important that you pay attention to your multidimensional bodies, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. And are you working in the commandmentship of being responsible and being honoring and having open communication? And what does your body need at this time, so that you're allowing the flow of energy back and forth? So always know that as you're becoming more higher in consciousness, you can look at character development within your own life. Look at character development within the play of who you are within creation. Remember, you want to see life and creation as a romantic play. How can you allow yourself the development within your own character to know that it's okay to flow back and forth, and it's okay to have those detours, and it's okay to have those shadow moments, that you can bring and pull up various aspects of the soul of you. And without judgment, you're alchemizing those inner desires of fire. The fire element is so important when you're creating, especially if you're a creator God. There's going to be a lot of people that I will be assisting because they haven't had a lot of practice or higher vibrational consciousness wisdom on how to work with their energies. And some of them are very powerful energetically, but they've never been taught how to work with their energy, which has got them into a bit of trouble before, right? So I'm here to assist those that are very powerful energy workers, but they've never been taught how to work with their energy. And so I'm going to be helping some of those, and those will be some of the ones that will come forward and seek my mentorship, so that you can become a master in who you are, and not flying off the handle and becoming of detriment, especially when we're moving into 5D, and why we've often said why we have to go through the 4D. The 4D is the emotional realm of all the 3D healing, of all of the 3D wounds. So the emotional realm. Why do we need to go through the 4D to get to the 5D? Because when we get to 5D, it's going to be instant manifestation. So if you're not balanced in your emotional body, if you're not balanced in the divine feminine and masculine energies of all of these wounds, all of these strengths and weaknesses that you've come to learn and harmonize as a soul being as the image of Mother Father, then you're going to be manifesting from those emotional wounds. And again, remember, consciousness is earned. Consciousness is the inhale and the exhale of who are you as source within the all of source. So if you're not working with daily pathwork and you're not having that time for reflection, you're not having that time to pay attention and consciously be aware of the divine feminine energies within you, are you allowing yourself to be grounded and breathing from that higher consciousness state of the open heart? because everything is the mechanism running through the heart space, which is the highest consciousness level that you can have. When you're running through the heart space, you're allowing yourself the highest level of wisdom. So that's why you work with certain spiritual guides that have the higher vibrational understanding of, the brotherhoods and sisterhoods of light, the Christ consciousness Metatronic light systems, because it's how you modify, enhance, and align your multidimensional systems to higher light intelligence, because it is the highest light intelligence, right? And sometimes certain sects, groups, and cults and covens, they don't offer the highest level of intelligence. They only offer their specific circle of group think, if you will, and it's not higher intelligence. Church and state is not higher intelligence. So it's very good to align yourself with those that have the channel of the open source creator, and they've brought forward eons and eons of those mastery teachings that we've used in the temples, say back in Egypt or Lemuria. They were all, important teachings for us back in those temples. So our topics today is we're going to talk about the soul's blueprint. I've given you a little bit of preamble as to how we're going to tie all of these topics together and how important it is for you to break free of any patterns that you notice and recognize within yourself and how you're moving about your day. We are human vessels of physical density and matter. We are carbon, and crystalline energy is the spirited light that we're trying to activate in our everyday experience. We're more connected every day. So affirmations of your connection and your alignment, your relationship with spirit, your engagement with spirit every day is really important, because that is what has caused the highest level of aggression, of separation, of fear and control and dominancy, and why there's been so many issues within our collective about the secret societies and cults and the separations and the discriminations has been the disconnection. Everything can go back to those fear-based experiences of disconnection. And where did the disconnection begin? And that's where a lot of our 5D healing and medicines will be about reconnecting spirit to all aspects of who we are. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Can we just have protection over my chakras and the energies in and out of the chat room here, please, and send away any of those that are nefarious? Not wishing to learn, they can leave my channel, please. Thank you, Holy Lord Michael. Please release these energies. So breaking free, new multidimensional systems, and how can you, part of your reflection and part of your offering for yourself this week is how can you offer yourself miraculous expectations. Now, remember we talked about last week, if you're practicing open discussions with source, open discussions with creation, all of the universe is your playground. You are a play. You are a character in a play. So the more open you are with creation, the more miraculous expectations that can come forward to you. You're not only holding the miracles to come in certain ways, because that's not Father, Creator, God. The universe wants to give you miracles in every way that they are born and birthed and breathed, through nature and animals and all of those beautiful things that we can experience miracles. And so when you're allowing yourself to break free from any patterns, constraints, restrictions, limitations, you're allowing yourself to come into a more open expectation of how anything can come to you, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, vibrationally, in a song, color, nature, however it might come to you. Have an open expectation of miracles. Have an open expectation of how you're going to feel, learn, discern, integrate, and have greater capacity and aptitude for information so that you can become a higher expressive being, a more full expressive being, a more creative expressive being, a more colorful expressive being, because we want part of the grounding foundation of our message today and our intention today is to activate and expand your 3 E's of who you are as a soul. How may you explore miraculously within creation? How may you explore more openly and more miraculously with expression, with experience, with exploration? Because it's all vibrational. So really getting you used to breaking free of all limitations and restraints from a 3D perspective. What is it that you do every day, and can you change up your patterns? Can you change up your routines, if you will, and add something new, add something fresh that has to do with your 3 E's? It's very important that we get used to entraining ourselves to be higher vibrational, because part of the soul's blueprint is for you to activate new gifts and skills and talents. So for you to activate new gifts and skills and talents, whatever these lifetimes offered you, if this one was herbs, if this one was fire, working with the fire elements, if this one was working with topography, and this one was working with the divine masculine, the will. All of these are very powerful attributes, but you want to harmonize them into a now median, if you will, because you have a higher consciousness now and you know how to pull in the attributes of each. As we said, part of the problem with groupthink and cults and covens is that they only operate from a very median, lower vibrational state of understanding and wisdom, because they're not high wisdom at all. They're just rotating the same beliefs and rules and laws, which are not in alignment of the spiritual laws and higher order. Most of them do not follow higher spiritual order. And so that's why they're corrupt. That's why all of them are looking at their demise right now. Many of the cults and covens are seeing that they're not going to go any farther than how they've gone. So you have to look at everybody in the group, if you will, if you're talking about a business or a workplace, everybody in the group that's going through ascension must take it upon themselves to do their daily churning, must do their daily alchemy, must do their reflective and observation work. You want everybody within the group to be excited and really expecting of themselves to understand consciousness. The more that you allow yourself that inner reflective time, that inner solitude time, working with Source Creator, working with your guides, having your teams engage with you in the real world, i.e. what I just offered you earlier. Have your teams offer certain circumstances and situations and experiences where you get to test your new skills of consciousness or intuitive reading, or you get to practice your intuitive gifts, reading Gaia, reading the Gaia energy. Those types of things, that's what your guides are for. Your guides are there to assist you in what's most exciting for you. How do you want to express yourself in the fullest ways? Where do you want to experience Source, the 3 E's? So your teams are constantly there to work within your soul's blueprint, to keep you aligned on mission, to keep you aligned on your soul's blueprint. What are the major themes that you're working with this timeline? And make sure that you're calling in all of the strategies that all of your soul aspects and your soul fragments have given you and gifted you. Whether it's a weakness or a strength, it doesn't matter. They're both the same, because as you're doing your observation, your reflection work, it's directly relating to the lifetime that you have right now. So everything that you're going through right now is a reflection of all of these timelines and these aspects of self that you're here to keep harmonizing into a higher consciousness level. Remember, all of these are still fragments and aspects of mirrors of Source Creator. That's all Source Creator. They're just different aspects of consciousness. But this consciousness, you in the body that's listening right now, has the highest level of consciousness understanding that you can now bring these energies in for consciousness recreation, consciousness churning, consciousness alchemy. And this is what most of the collective does not do. If you do and you practice what I'm offering, then you will find yourself growing in consciousness. You will find yourself more soul infused. And this is where I know what I know. I know who I am because I work with it daily. I know the aspects of my soul fragments. I work with my teams every day. What am I working with today? How can I bring this forward in a greater skill and strength? How can I bring this forward in a greater softening? So this is how I work with my teams, and it's called Ascension Pathwork. It's what my books that I've written about. So if you're not doing Ascension Pathwork, you're not growing consciously, period. And this is where we've said, I want people to challenge themselves. And it's okay for you to feel challenged. I want you to feel challenged. If you've been a light worker for quite some time and you've been doing the same thing and you've been working in the same environment and you've been moving about the same environment, those are restrictions. So we want you to challenge yourself to get out with the people, get out into the communities. How are you working with your environments in the 3 E's? Are you challenging yourself to be more spiritually active and more spiritually engaged? If you really truly want to be a spiritually self-actualized being, it's an infinite path, it's an infinite journey, it's an infinite exploration, it's miraculous exploration, and there is no ceiling, there is no walls. Spirituality is your moment-for-moment experience of how are you allowing creation at every single moment to be that spiritual reflection with you, and has nothing to do with religion. It does if you're looking at that specific religious lifetime, if you will, but being spiritual is not being religious and vice versa. Spirituality is who you are as a whole spirit, and it's infinite. This has a spiritual perspective, that has a spiritual perspective, this has a spiritual perspective, that has a spiritual perspective. Whether you belong to a certain religion or not, it's a lower casing, if you will. It's not the bigger umbrella. The bigger umbrella is you are spiritual, you are a spirit being, you have a spirit that is coming forward in a human body. What are you learning in this human body to encapsulate all of your spirit? So if you say that you're going to be a spiritual being, that spiritual being may as well, I want to tap into the spirit of this aspect of me, that aspect of me, this aspect, and then do the reflection work. Those that are absolutely spiritual allow every day to be the spiritual unfolding. You're always a student. You're always, always, always a student. You're always a student of spirit. You can't not be. There's infinite billions of people on the planet, and each one of those billions of people can be a reflection for you to have the 3 A's of who you are as source. All aspects of life are spirit. And the more connected and enmeshed you are, the higher vibration you are. Why those of us that have been practicing the enmeshment with spirit, the entanglement with spirit, the communication and relationship alignment with spirit is because we're constantly enmeshed with spirit. It's never disconnected. We're never disconnected. Why we have different speech, why we have different ways we practice light, why we have different ways we walk about the planet, why we're so enmeshed and we care so much about life itself. Because to move forward into 5D, you must care about life. It is unity consciousness. Unity consciousness is what? It's the spirit aspect of all things because you are one. It's all you. And so breaking free of illusions and your limitations that have caused you segregation. So it's okay to look at these aspects in your soul fragments as segregations of the whole soul self. That was working on the fire aspect, that was working on the divine masculine aspect, whatever you want to see as segregation, it's okay. You can do that reflection work and say, this aspect of me was really good in art, so I'm going to pull that creative, artistic version of me forward. So all of those aspects, you can do that segregated work, and it's part of your learning about being spiritual. That spiritual actualization is you're actualizing everything that that soul fragment was teaching you. You're actualizing everything that that soul fragment was teaching you. And of course, this goes the same for everybody before you. So that is what self-actualization means. It means that you're looking at yourself and being accountable. You're looking at the honoring and the weaknesses and the strengths and all of those things that you're here to practice as being a fully self-actualized conscious being. To be spiritual, to be consciously awake, to be consciously aware, you understand consciousness. You understand the whole that is omnipresent, that is Source Creator. Source Creator is all consciousness. Source Creator, God, is aspects of all of this. God is within all of these beings. God knows exactly the soul blueprints of all of these beings, and God knows the soul blueprint of you now to harmonize all of these aspects. So again, why give your power outside of you when God within you is the highest version of you? So again, working with your higher self, working with your soul's blueprint, working with your team so that you're honoring and understanding who you are as godliness. So that's what I teach and I offer you. And anybody doing it any other way, it's okay to go about those different pathways and routes, but they're not initiated as the anointed ones or the chosen ones to bring forward brotherhood and sisterhood of light wisdoms that have been passed down through the higher dimensions, the 13th dimensions down. There is a higher light codes because we offer light codes. We offer from the highest 13th dimensions down. And how is it working in the expansion and contraction of the universe? Some of us, again, we carry the different gifts in conduit and telepathy and mediumship because we're constantly engaging and enmeshing with spirit. It's a constant storyboard of spirit, and that's where you gain your consciousness. That's where you gain your wisdom because it's a higher light understanding. It's a higher light wisdom. There's no books that will teach you what I teach you because it's constant now moment energy. It's now moment spirit. It's now moment understanding. It's now moment taking it in. It's now moment becoming. It's now moment churning. And then you get used to just becoming a higher consciousness being. You speak in your higher consciousness state. You don't need necessarily notes. You can keep your notes in your channeling just to keep you in alignment of the main point spirit wants you to tap into. But you're working in your highest conscious spirit. I can talk right now and not look at my notes and go in 100 different directions because I'm tapped into my soul. My soul is infused. I've called forward my higher self. I've called forward the mother and the father to speak and live through me. So whatever topics these characters want to bring forward, we can talk about it and say, how is the now soul moment of me becoming a soul infused being so that I'm the intelligence of all of these beings? Because they all matter. They're equally important. This is where we can look at the reflective collective experience, you and your collective, you and your Gaia, you and the heavens. That's your sacred trinity. That is held within your blueprint. Are you being fully exploratory with your 3 A's and accepting all that you are and whatever is being reflected to you from your collective? Because they're all aspects of the storyboard of you, the play of you, what's being shown to you. Where can you relax? Where can you soften? Where can you accept? Where can you allow? When you can be a compassionate leader? Because that going forward, that's all that 5D will be. It's not going to be what we see in leadership now. Absolutely not. That's where it needs to change. Take yourself outside of the matrix and start training yourself into higher miraculous expectations, not in the 3D entrainment. So the core of our message today is breaking free. Breaking free of any of the limitations that have held you in separation or segregation. How it's like, and again, it's okay to reflect in segregation because you need that to discern, okay, what did this character teach me? What did that character do? When you're writing a book, you look at all the characters of your book and then you're looking at how they interact with each other, how they engage with each other, what are they teaching each other? So that's all part of how you're doing your character development, how you're writing out if you're writing a play or a movie. So these are always good things. So you have to look at segregation because you want to know how each of these characters are going to interact. And this also too is how you can discern and bring predictive channels, if you will. If I'm predicting something, if I'm going into a channel and I'm calling forward source prediction is just saying, well, based on their energies right now, these are the highest chances of outcome because they're going to interact in the same way they always have because it's all about patterns. If they haven't broken that pattern, if they haven't broken that pattern of misogyny, if they haven't broken that pattern of control and domination, if they haven't broken that pattern of doing, and not sitting back and having that reflective receiving mode for the divine feminine, then they're going to be behaving in the same way, they're going to react in the same way. That's where most of my predictions, I've predicted a lot of the things that are unfolding right now for 6 years because they haven't broken the patterns of where their wounds are. So how else would it come out? If all you do is black magic, how can you predict any other outcome? It can't. It's quantumly impossible. You are the vibration of black magic, therefore that's what you're patterned in. You have not chosen to break that pattern of black magic. You don't need black magic. You've patterned yourself to think you need black magic. It hasn't worked so far, so why are you continuing to do it? Won't be sacrificed. You've been told that I won't be surrendered to anybody. I won't be surrendered to any deity to give a lower vibrational person free karma. That's not going to happen. It goes against every spiritual law. It goes against the Akash. It goes against God's divine plan. It's not going to happen. And do you think a low 3D cult and coven is going to make the rules of the entire universe and going to change my destiny just because you don't want to deal with your karma? No, you're going to sit down and you're going to deal with your karma. Because it's time for you to sit down. You're not always going to be on top of the wheel. You will have to go through losses. You will have to go through breakages. You will have to go through knowing that your thoughts, your words, your deeds affect people, and you have to see how you've hurt people. You have to see your choices and what they've done and how they've damaged people. If you're not looking at it, you're going to create towers. God is going to give you towers after towers after towers until you see what you have done so that you can choose differently. Are you going to see the person that you have been? And if you choose not to, then your towers are going to get more and more and more. And you can tell that people in the chat room don't like that because they don't want to take accountability. Because I can sense the energies they're throwing at my throat, and I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to keep going. And that just goes for anybody in Calgary. I'm saying it for the 5th time and the billionth time. If you go back on my videos for the past 3 years, I've said the same thing. Anybody from Calgary and everybody from Calgary, the 50 that were involved in whatever they were doing in my life, incorrect birth records, false claims, I mean, the list goes on and on. It's a 15-length list of crimes and things that were done to me and black magic. I don't want anything to do with anybody from Calgary. My ex and everybody that my ex is involved with, I don't want anything to do with anybody from Calgary. I have my rights to be who I am. I don't want anything to do with any of you, and I'm going to keep speaking it. I'm going to keep speaking with everything in my body and in my essence. Nobody will have an ounce of say over my life. They will never direct me. They will never have say over me. Exactly who I am. I will never be handled. Nobody will ever own me. Nobody will ever handle me. Nobody will ever tell me and sell me to this cult and that cult and this cult. Nobody will ever fucking own me. I don't want to do any more cycles with anybody from the past. You are removed for a reason. God has removed you. You're not going to be able to find my energy. You're not going to be able to use my energy. You're not going to be able to manifest from my energy. You cannot force manifest me. Nobody from Calgary, nobody from a cult or a coven, nobody can manifest me. You cannot force manifest me. If it's not in my soul's destiny, if it's not in the highest and the greater good for all creation, you will not manifest me. So stop doing the black magic. Stop trying to manipulate my destiny. Stop trying to manipulate who I am and who I'm going to be with. I won't be with you. You need to get that in your brain. You need to sit down. You actually need to write these things out and you say, who am I in this moment? I have nothing to do with you. I moved 6 years ago. I have nothing to do with anybody from Calgary. We don't talk, we're not buddies, we're not friends, we don't email, there's nothing there. There's nothing there was, there never will be. There's nothing there. I don't want anything to do with those people that do sacrificing and obsess and relentlessly attack other people so they can have things and stuff and money. They're criminals. They're secret society criminals. Now, whether some of these secret societies have been directed from higher ups and higher elites and corrupt governments and corrupt church and state, that's what needs to be investigated. And that's why I've been telling everybody, go to the authorities. Tell the authorities your story. I don't want to hear it. I was used as bait to pull out the corrupt people, the corrupt beings that say they are church and state, that say they are guides for the communities, and they're not. They're not. They're blasphemous beings, and they are not connected with God in any way. And God will lift the prophets. God will lift those that have been initiated with all world leaders and healers and teachers that have been doing the work. With or without a home, I'm doing the work. With or without money, I'm doing the work. With or without a hand reaching out to me to help me, I'm doing the work. I've always done the work because that's who I am. I am a prophet. I am a healer. I'm a conduit. I'm an author. I'm a mother. I'm a sacred teacher of sacred wisdoms from the heavens and all the way down. I'm a multiverse hybrid. I'm a celestial. I can be whatever it is I want, and nobody from the past is ever going to come back for another cycle. I don't want a cycle with anybody from the past. You are removed for a reason. It's up to you right now to go away and do your healing. Why did you do what you did? Why did you take money to bring crimes and theft and fraud against me and blasphemy against me? None of you even knew me. None of you even met me besides my ex. What would make anybody do that? What would make anybody put a name on a piece of paper and pass it and then do an underground black web pyramid betting and bidding scheming program where you get to sell my name back and forth when you didn't even include me in the conversation? This is my life. It is my soul. It is my spirit. Nobody's going to fucking own me on any level, in any how. I understand my human rights. I understand my universal rights, and I'm going to use them. And I will see everybody in criminal court. Cults and covens, witches and warlocks and masons, and top elite people that harvest other people's energy to have 5 minutes of fame on stage. That ain't really who you are. You're being highly misguided, and it's going to be negative karma, and you are sealing the fate of your children. And you will not come back in a 5D body. You will not come back again, because this is the last 3D timeline. And we're either going to talk about soul progression. You're either going to understand and honor energy. You're either going to understand and honor spirit. You're either going to understand and honor your soul's progression in the higher light wisdoms, again, or move off my channel, because this is higher light wisdoms, and your soul does have a purpose and a process and a destiny. You don't need to take it from anybody else. You have your own destiny. You don't need to take energy from anybody else. You're directly related with source. You're directly connected with source if you so choose. If you choose lower vibrational beliefs, you're not meant for my channel. I'm not going to babysit. I'm not going to handhold you. I get to be who I'm going to be. I get to be with who I want to be with. I get to say what I want to say. I get to teach what I want to teach because I am that I am. I know who I am. Why is it everybody gets to be what they want, but I don't get to be what I want? And I'm snuffed. I am veiled. I am shadow banned. I am silenced. I am suppressed. I am attacked. I am sabotaged. I am defamed. I am discriminated. I am exploited. The list goes on and on and on. There, you can't even count the human rights abuses that have gone on in life. From it being my birth records, from it being who I am, from it being my spiritual ranking, from it being anything. I haven't received one penny. I haven't signed anything for anybody, with anybody. I haven't agreed to anything with anything from anybody on my work, my content, my videos, or any other image of me. Nothing has ever been approved, ever. My work is my work. It's only brought through me because I am the channel of the higher vibrational wisdoms. Nobody else is. I am the conduit of it. Nobody has a right. Nobody even is aligned. They wouldn't understand my work if it hit them in the face and then landed in their lap. And copying my work is not being a vibrational healer. You're not a vibrational healer, just copying my work. You're a thief. So if you say you're going to be spiritual, then be spiritual. Stop trying to be like other people. If you say you want to be a light worker, then be a light worker. Get in touch with your higher self. Who are you? Your path is only about you. It's about all your soul fragments, all your soul's past, all your soul's histories, all your soul's futures, and you can get aligned right now and heal and do the alchemy and face your shadow. Nobody else has the answers for you but you. And this is what I teach. I teach you to connect with your higher self and be godly. It has nothing to do with religion. And that's why religion and church and state will never show you through ascension. They will never show you how to connect and align and mesh with your higher self. They don't know, and it's obvious, is it not? The cults and covens won't show you how to connect with your higher self. Isn't that obvious? We've been telling these people, we've been telling these cults and groups and gangs and little witches and little warlocks that think they own me and think they want me to come back into their little playground where they can harvest off me and they can do all these rituals and make more money off of me by abusing me. This is how they make money. They make money by abusing people. They make money by taking out false insurance claims and false this and false that and false accusations and false this and false that. Meanwhile, they're the ones that are enforcing themselves in your life. They're the ones that are enforcing themselves in your energy by doing black magic on you every day, by doing binding spells and sex magic on you every day. But they don't think anybody can see them because they do everything in the dark. The dark occult abuses, systematic abuses, corrupt Masonic abuses, secret society abuses have to speak out. Go to the authorities and tell the authorities what you know about those people doing these things in the communities. It's not okay. They vibrationally rape people. They tunnel into their dreams. They tunnel into their chakra systems. They tunnel into their Akashic records. Nobody has a right. Nobody has a right to tunnel into anybody's Akash. The Akash is the most sacred spiritual record. And those of you that choose to be actualized, it would be a part of your protection and your clarity and your clearing work to do your Akashic, working with your Akash and working with your teams every morning and every night, so that you're making sure that your Akash is sealed, so that you're making sure your Akash is safe with you, and you're working with your Akash daily with your teams. Nobody has access. Nobody should be having access unless they are trained, initiated from the masters, from the heavens, from the brotherhoods and sisters of light that respect energy, that respect the Akash, right from the divine masters like myself. And if you aren't initiated, you shouldn't be tunneling into it. Just because you can remote view doesn't mean you should. Everybody's being tested. You have gifts and skills to work with energy. Are you respecting and honoring it? When your gifts and skills turn on and you can have a third eye open and you can see and you can remote view and you can have all of these things that go on in the little secret cults and covens and monitoring spirits, they can go monitor you and they can handle you and they can pocket watch you to see when you're getting your next bit of money. So then they can come in and swarm you and they can take you out and do group sacrifices on you and group death rituals and group suicide rituals. They swarm and they attack you. And they have little people that monitor you. They have little people that study you. People that want to go and date you. They have little infected people that want to go and take you out and have sex with you to get you infected, so they can break down your protection levels. They can break down your walls. They can take down all the things that you've done to protect yourself and become a higher vibrational light being. And they have all of these schemes and all these systematic abuses and all these slow dagger, MK Ultra bullshit. You're never going to be ranked. It's nothing but thievery. It's nothing but spiritual killing. It's nothing but misguidance on every level. And if that's the way you want to run your life, you will never get out of 3D lower vibrational realms. You will end up on Epstein Earth fighting for your life because it's extinction. Extinction practices 100%. And I've been very blatant. I've been telling everybody higher order truths. If you continue down these black, dark occult ways, you will get yourself moved out because that's what you're practicing. Extinction practices. It is just the quantum equal. The Father and the heavens have told everybody across the multiverse, I will not be touched. And there are still people practicing today to see how they can scam, to see how they can swap destinies, to see how they can do all the things that they've been doing for years and years and years and years and years. They've been making the money. They've been given the time. And the reason why the Father allowed it so hard and so long and so enduring was because of the evidence for every person that will be pulled out and plucked. There is evidence on everybody, on every part that they played, whether you are the Photoshopper making up false documents, whether you're the false-ass mad scientist that thinks you know more than anybody else in the world. You actually don't. Your science doesn't know anything because you're not godly. You're not wrapped in God. Therefore, your science does not work and it will never work. That's why you're going to keep failing. That's why people like BrainChip Products and Elon Musk and all of their, no matter how many billions of dollars they put into their programs, they are not wrapped in source and it will fail. If it's not wrapped in source and the greater good, if it's not aligned with your soul's blueprint, just like AI, just like cloning, just like all the other stuff, that is just nothing but corruption. If it is not aligned with your soul's blueprint and the greater good, it will fail. So why put your billions and millions and bajillions in there? Why? Go ahead and do it, and you'll find that you will come against, as all of the secret societies and all the cults and covens and the warped-ass Morlocks and all the warped-ass witches and Masons, and they're still doing their voodoo, you're still falling in your towers. Why? Because you were told, I'm not your issue. You're not going to keep abusing me. You're not going to keep harvesting from me. You're not going to keep using me. You never had any right to steal from me. You never had any right to take from me. You never had any right to lie on me. And you're going to get your karma, and it's happening now. You're not going to keep fooling creation. You're not going to keep trying to play chess with God. I have my destiny. I'm moving on it. I will claim my abundance. I will claim being loved. I will claim being seen. I will claim being the highest version of me. That's my birthright. And nobody has an ounce of say over my birthright. Grow up. You're not understanding spiritual order. You're not understanding spiritual laws. And every single person that thinks that they can dominate, handle, and break a soul because they want to dominate and take over my gifts, you are absolutely, utterly, we said for the billionth fucking time, you're misguided and you're misinformed. Anybody telling you these things is 100% wrong. And you don't know, you're stuck in low consciousness. You are stuck in wounding because you don't want to face the karma that you created. You're not facing who you are. You're not facing why you're doing the deeds you're doing. You're not facing why you're choosing to sacrifice. You're not facing why you have done what you've done. And therefore, you're going to keep manifesting your towers until you face what you have done. I didn't deserve the abuse, not 1 ounce of it. From the corrupt governments to the corrupt government agendas to those that have been following me, stalking me, spying me, hacking me, illegally abuse of power on every level. Illegal abuse of information, illegal abuse of technology, illegal abuse of power on every level. And there's over 15 crimes that were committed against me by these groups. And none of them had an ounce of right. Not an ounce. Illegal on all levels. And I haven't received a penny. I haven't received an apology. I haven't received anything from anybody. Therefore, thus, then, sit in your karma. You deserve it. If you choose not to see how and why you have done what you have done, then you're going to keep sitting in it until you absolutely have to be forced to face it. And that's called an ego death, dark night of the soul. And you will face your ego death because your ego ain't the driver now. We're going into spiritual realms, and the spiritual realms will require you that you surrender to your soul and your spirit, the higher self, dear lighted ones. Every human has a higher self. It best be that you start speaking with your higher self and start surrendering to it. And it's free will if you choose not to. If you choose not to, you will be on the same path of Epstein Earth and entropy practices because your ego won't know the way to 5D. It just won't. It's not higher intelligent. Your ego is patterned ego patterns. It's ego patterned. It's not spiritual. It's not connected with the spirit. It's a part of your soul fragment. And every time you're healing a soul fragment, there's different parts of your ego that come forward. And it's up to you to heal that ego. And that's why people go through ego deaths, because they're refusing to look at their ego. They're refusing to see that they're the ones that caused every one of their aspects, the issues that are going on in their life right now. It's nobody else's fault. I'm calling those people out on their crimes. I'm calling those people out on their behaviors, their denials, their lies, their manipulations, their black magic that they refuse to come forward and be accountable for, their secret underground lifestyles, their secret underground families. I'm calling them out on it. You cannot say that you know God, and you cannot say that you're connected with God when all you do is lie, steal, cheat, manipulate, and try and take people out. How is that godly? That's not an ounce of respect for anything in creation. If you're disregarding and you're blaspheming the highest version of angelic healing energy on the planet, and God's had enough. God said, "You will not touch me." How many times do we have to say it? Therefore, you have no respect for me. You have no respect for energy. You have no respect for spiritual higher order. And God's going to sit you all down. So be it. That's your choice. You chose that. So for the final time, everybody in Calgary, go about your business. Go to the authorities is what you know on the secret society abuses that you have been engaged with and what you have done. Be accountable for your actions. If you want to clear your soul, if you want to come up and to be a higher vibrational being, if you want to be a higher consciousness being, if you want to be a higher spiritual being, if you want to be self-actualized, then face and be accountable for what you have done and who was involved. I don't have anything to do with any of these people besides them trying to continually harvest off me and pull me back into their dark bullshit. You're not going to use me anymore. You're never going to touch my spirit anymore. God has pulled you, each and every one of you, out for a reason. You will never touch my spirit or my energy again. So find somebody else to steal from, because it ain't me. You all used me, you all abused me, you all judged me, you all discriminated, you all left me for dead. You all did your spell work on me daily, you all lied daily, you all falsified claims on me daily, and none of you even know me. None of you have even met me. I've been on my own, by myself, for over 8 years. I moved away 6 years ago. I've been celibate for 14. None of you even fucking know me. And that goes right up to the corrupt-ass government that have me on watch lists. None of you fucking know me. None of you will ever know me. You have now allowed yourself no access. None of you will have access to me ever. Because you did not take the daily healing, the daily blogs, the infinite videos, the infinite healing from spirit that you are all facing towers now because you don't care about life. because you don't care about you. So learn the lessons. There will be no recycling of anybody with anything, and no recycles of anything. I wouldn't do another cycle with anybody from the past in a bajillion ways, in a bajillion years, in a bajillion lifetimes. I have learned my lessons on how not to be abused. Thank you for everybody teaching me. And you get to sit with those stories for the rest of your legacy. You get to sit with your story and brag about how you vibrationally beat up and raped one of the most highest vibrational masters on the planet that has brought forward teachings and healings that nobody has ever brought before and nobody ever will. So you get to say that's part of your legacy. So good for you. Good for you for vibrationally attacking, satanically doing your rituals, satanically passing my name back and forth in the black web underground, and my ancestors are going to keep giving you karma every time that my name is used and abused in a negative way for selfish gain. Everybody has been told, anyone that uses my name, my image, anybody that uses my content, pilfering my videos, silencing me, suppressing me, trying to scheme, plot, plan, me, trying to sell me, bid me, bet me, or bet me to another cult or coven. Each and every one of you will get the ancestors' karma times 10. God has given everybody the approval. I'm not to be touched. Stop fucking with me. Stop the magic and the spell work, and it's not going to go anywhere. You're going to get it right back immediately. And there's extra legions around me. There's extra legions on my Akash. There's extra legions on every step that I make forward. And if that ain't going to get you in your seat enough, then you're just going to have to keep facing the karma, and the ancestors are dishing it out times 100-fold because they're had enough. They're tired of playing babysitter over arrogant, ignorant people that choose not to be accountable for the basic universal laws, for basic human rights, the basic codes of humanity right now. Do unto others. And if you cannot do that one simple law, then you will never, ever be ranked. You will never, ever move forward, and you will never be an evolved person, and you should not be doing magic. Do unto others. Right use of free will and non-interference is the #1 universal law. And if you do not practice this, you will never be ranked, you will never be a leader, you will never be anything but low vibrational Epstein Earth, entropy, extinction. That's where you're going. Everything wrong on our planet right now is because of separation, discrimination, and fear-based control domination tactics. If you continue to use those practices, that's where you're quantumly choosing your vessel to go. And everybody has been told there are windows closing of ascension. You either choose to be in unity consciousness, love, and heal your issues, heal your soul fragments, heal your energies that are coming up to be healed. If you are not doing the healing, if you are not facing and being accountable, you will not move forward. And it is that simple. That is quantumly the equation. You cannot move into higher consciousness if you don't even get the lower consciousness. If you are trying to take people out, if you're trying to blame people, if you're trying to take people to lawsuits for false accusations and false this and false that because you cannot handle where you sit because of your choices. Those are your choices. You're not getting even the lowest level of consciousness, you will never move forward. You cannot go into 5D consciousness if you're not even getting 3D consciousness. You cannot move into 5D consciousness if all you're doing is taking out, betting, bidding, selling, trading, and RICO trafficking. There is a spiral of progression. Your soul's progression is everything. If you are not facing who you are and if you are not healing, you will not move forward. It is that simple. And people will be moved. And the hand of God is on each and every person that has refused to make right, that has refused to give me what I am owed, that has refused to give me my birthright documents, everybody that has refused to do the basic do unto others. If you cannot be basically do unto others, you will never, ever, 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 in a bajillion evers, doesn't matter the bars on your badge, doesn't matter the name or the title on your door, or the amount of money you got in your account, you won't move forward, you're not ranked. You never will be. And I'm going to keep stating it to you because you don't deserve and you don't have a right to touch another soul. You don't have a right to do a ritual on a soul. You don't have a right to pull on their energy. You don't have the right to do sex magic. You don't have a right to jack off to their image. You just don't. So get used to the universal laws, dear lighter ones, because you're getting karma and you're going to keep getting it until you get it. Until you treat people with respect, until you treat their energy with respect and their spirits with respect, because that's what 5D is. You're going to be manifesting right from thought. And if you're not practiced in unity consciousness, you're going to keep manifesting tower after tower after tower after tower. And that's what's happening now. Because the energies are faster. We're higher on omni-light right now. That means you're going to be getting your karma quicker because we're accelerating, dear lighted ones. That's why now people that have never experienced karma before are now getting karma, because they're not going to be on top of the wheel all the time. You can't be, because it's been unfair and you've been nothing but corrupt and hurting people. You're going down. You're going down, you're going down, you're going down. Every trafficking ring, every organ trafficking ring, every ring that traffics children, every ring that moves children from state to state, every cult, coven, group, sect, trafficking ring. I don't care what you call it. Every aspect of cult or group or ring or circus on this planet that disrespects energy and the sacredness of life, you are going down. If you're not altering course, you are going down. That is my word. Why? Because this is my garden now. And we have had enough of sacred life being used and abused by those people that just refuse to be intelligent. Basic common sense. Do unto others, get healed, or you will be moved. Nobody has a right to abuse sacred life. Just don't. Get healed. If you think sacrificing somebody's life, if you think sacrificing the firstborn so that you can get out of your karma because you chose to make bad choices, you chose to be incestuous, you chose to be debaucherous, you chose to abuse your body, your mind, your spirit, and your soul, that soul that is your firstborn is coming to redeem you, and they're not going to give their soul away to your bad choices. You need to get well. You need to get healed. You need to write it out, and you need to get clear on you need your karma, your choices, and you need to get God, source with God, not religion, God. Because everybody has a godliness within them. You're either going to get connected and attached in relationship with who you are as godliness, self-love, self-care, and start healing your wounds. Because there ain't no child on this planet that will ever allow themselves to be taken out for the poor choices of an adult. My God, grow up. Why don't you just stop being a criminal? Why don't you stop making bad choices? Why don't you just heal your wounds? Because the children don't deserve your poor choices. This is where everybody's going to be accountable, and everybody's going to keep manifesting towers until you face who you are. And it takes tough love, because this is self-actualization. You will never be a self-actualized master if you're not facing what I'm saying. 3D counselors and 3D psychologists aren't going to teach you this. Why? Because they don't know anything about soul fragments. They don't know anything about your Akash. They don't know anything else about being multidimensional. Because you're not telling them that you're practicing dark magic behind the closet. Every night you go to bed and you wonder why you're starting to go into psychosis and you're starting to go brain dead. What else would you expect? You're practicing the dark arts. You're conjuring demons. You're conjuring dark energies. What do you think your cells are going to do? What do you think the light that was in your body is no longer there anymore because you keep giving your light away to demons? You keep giving your power away to demons. You keep giving your power away to sex deities. Think you're going to manifest something. It's not about the stuff, people. And you're going to keep manifesting towers until you get it. It's not about the stuff. How you play on this planet and how you play with others actually matters. If you don't care about anybody but your stuff, if you don't care about anything but your superficiality, if you don't care about anything else but your title and your little bankroll, you will be sat down. You're highly misguided, you're highly misinformed, and your secret little cults and your secret little societies ain't gonna get you anywhere, and neither will your ego, and you will be sat down. These are the higher order truths. I am a spiritual guide. I am a conduit for the Mother and the Father and the holy heavens. I'm bringing down higher vibrational messages, and I don't deserve to continually be attacked every day because people sit in wounding. I get to be exactly who I am, and I'm going to be exactly who I am. I get to choose who I'm going to be on my path with. I get to choose who I'm going to play with. Everybody from the past is forgiven. The more that you do spell work, the more that you do plotting, planning, scheming, and trying to pull me into your fucking mess, the more karma that you will get. Leave me alone. You have done so much damage. Stop the damage, leave me alone, and go heal. Because your lives are messy, and it's showing you that it's messy. You should only be focusing on you and your healing and your self-love with God. That's all you should be focusing on. And if you're not, you have no idea about ascension. You have no idea about being a spiritual guide. You have no idea about anything but going in a negative entropy experience. And that's your choice. We've been telling you for a very long time. Cults and covens and sacrificing and dark occult magic, that is entropy practices. You will move yourself out. How can you expect otherwise? The children will not pay for your poor choices. Get healed. And this is my job and my role. Bring it point blank, pointedly to every single person that so desires. These are the new spiritual order laws. Align with the universal laws, right use of free will and non-interference. Get out of other people's lanes and pay attention to you. Get healed. You have a higher self. Start seeking it. You are connected with Mother, Father, God. Start seeking it. You can be healed. Start seeking it and being it and grow up. That is 5D. 5D is unity consciousness, where you are manifesting from a balanced state of leadership and commandmentship of thyself and thyself only. Amen. And divine feminine are equally important and valuable, and we are priceless. And you need us on this planet, because without divine feminine, without the children that you keep sacrificing and selling and trading and betting and bidding against so that you rape us until there's nothing left, the planet would go extinct within 5 years. Oh, misogynistic men that think they're so powerful. It's the most darkest, unintelligent experience. Draw it out. The law of balance is the number 2 law in our universe. Why do you think that is, dear lighted ones? Because without balance, the world will sit just the way it sits right now. Everybody lying, everybody corrupt, everybody trying to get out of their karma because there's no accountability, because you're all wounded. You have no balance within you. All you need to do is get balanced and start to heal. Law of balance is the number 2 law, and it is so important. And Earth has been in a red flag status because it has been so imbalanced. There has been so much corruption. There has been so much Epstein. There has been so much MK Ultra. There has been so much hidden agendas to mind control and mind scrape. It's deplorable. And every secret society and every cult and coven that has been taking directives from an elite government, from an elite status, from an elite business, go tell the authorities, because they ain't going to have your back. And if you want to clear your karma and move through those empty gates, that's what you need to do. You need to start clearing off, and you need to start getting right with you. Nobody has the path for you but you. Your soul's blueprint is for you. Don't ever surrender to anything outside of you. Never bow to lesser, because they don't know your soul's blueprint. They don't know your righteousness with Source Creator. They don't know how much you pray. They don't know how much you care for the children. If you care for the children, if you care for the planet, then speak it. Speak it and be it and live it. That's being a leader. Never bow and fall lesser to conformity because certain people think it's okay and be conformed to abusing life. Anybody that is conforming to the abuse of life, they're not well, and they need to be checked and they need to be assessed. What person in their right mind thinks it's okay to put snuff videos and think that that's just a conformed behavior? It's not conformed behavior, it's sociopathy. My God, where did we go wrong? Trafficking children is not a normal thing. It's not a normal thing, people. Taking organs out from people illegally, that's not a normal thing. We're conforming ourselves to less and less more degrading Epstein-like experiences. If you do your research, go do your research on Weinstein and Epstein, a couple of interviews that were between Weinstein and Epstein. Epstein was a very unique case. Epstein was a bred man. B-R-E-D. Epstein was bred within certain groups and certain societies. He was a bred man. He was cloned to be the way that he is. And there's a very, very interesting interview between Weinstein and Epstein. That video, do your research. And it's no different than what I've been talking about, the elite soul harvesting and the private agendas of human targeting, of human experimenting, of human testing, and I was a part of it, and I survived. I was one of the only few that survived, and I'm able to talk about it in the multidimensional way that I'm able to talk about it now. There have been many programs to silence humanity so that the control and the conformities and the dominations can continue. And they're not going to continue. We will move forward in ascension. The old systems of church and state either going to move into higher vibrational 5D consciousness, and you're going to be a part of changing, you're going to be a part of growing, you're going to be a part of enhancing, you're going to be a part of ascending, you're going to be a part of the 3 E's, or you're going to step aside because you will be moved. The Father's plan for humanity and every soul in and of itself, if your soul takes and chooses to be a part of eternal life, of eternal light, then you have that birthright. That is your universal birthright, and nothing will stop it. And the heavens will move mountains to ensure that you have your soul's right. Because the universal laws trump all 3D. Doesn't matter what secret group or secret society or MK Ultra program you're a part of. It matters not. It's nothing. It's like a speck of dirt. Universal laws trump all, period, point blank. And I am here today because of that. I knew it. And I stand in my power. I know my ranking. I know who I am. I am the spiritual tongue of the Holy and the Mother and the Father, of these programs that are going to move humanity through the 5D gates. It's not my problem if you don't like it. It's not my problem if you don't believe it. Get off my channel. I have my right to be exactly who I am. And there have been deplorable programs taking humanity back into segregation, separation, abhorrence, violence, and extinction. And if every leader just drew it out, they would see within an hour that they are creating their own extinction, and their souls will not come back because there will be no other 3D timeline on Earth. There is no more 3D timelines for Earth. So you choose where you're going to be. Will you make right on your deeds? Will you be accountable for the shadows that you have been and heal the wounds at the bottom of every shadow? Will you face it? That's your job. It's your soul. Your soul's progression is very important. And what are you going to do? Are you going to do the daily pathwork? Yes or no? Are you going to be a part of your soul's progression? Yes or no? Are you going to honor every aspect of who you are? Yes or no? Are you going to learn about the earth and the water and the fire and all the elements that make us us? Are you going to learn about the fairies? You're going to learn about Gaia. You're going to learn about the oceans. This is your sacred trinity. Your collective, the heavens, and Gaia. Everybody's soul blueprint encapsulates those sacred trinity themes. And in your themes, it's up to you to heal the divine feminine wounding and the divine masculine wounding. This is called being self-actualized. You can believe it or not believe it, it doesn't matter. This is your soul's progression, and it is the universal truth. As you evolve, these are the only things that matter. Is your soul's progression. Whether you come back in another body in higher consciousness state is all about your soul's progression. If you choose not to progress consciously, you won't come back. You haven't earned it. You cannot just pop into a 5D consciousness body and start manifesting from thought when you have not healed any of your soul fragments. You haven't healed any of your issues. You haven't healed your greed. You haven't healed your envy. You haven't healed your jealousy. You still have your emotional wounding. And until you heal your emotional wounding, which is the 4D realm, you look at all your 3D wounds. The 4D realm is how you're managing and you're balancing. That's why balance is the number 2 law. We're going to keep threading you back and forth to all of these importances on why we say what we say, why we do what we do. It's all about your progression. Because if you're not balanced, you're going to be manifesting chaos, which is why some people are just facing tower after tower every day. Because they don't want to break free. They want to stay in their conformed patterns of debauchery, conformed patterns of hiding, conformed patterns of secrecy, conformed patterns of dark occult. And we ask you one more time, dear lighted ones, with the greatest of grace and appreciation and value for who you are, teaching the rest of humanity all these great lessons. If you bang your head against a wall 1,000 times, what does that get you? Does it get you a different response? It gets you a very sore head and brain damage. So we ask you this one time. If you're doing everything in the dark, if you're doing everything in hiding, if you have to hide who you are, if you have to be in secret who you are, if you have to lie and defame and have doppelgangers and photoshoppers come in, you have to pay people under the table to lie for you to make your narrative fit. If you have to do all of these things in the dark and in the nasty and in the basements and in the hidden and in the black web and all of these things in your little secret files and secret meetings and secret this and secret that. How intelligent is that, dear lighted ones? All you're doing is just impaling a lot of darkness and a lot of shadow on your chakras and on your fields, and anybody that is a seer can see it. It's nothing but a big veil of illusions. Nobody's going to want to be with you because you have no idea who you are. You're not going to have any movement forward because it's just nothing but a big mess of lies. A big mess of corruption. You can't have any path forward if you're nothing but clouded fogginess of illusions and deceit and manipulation. Your speech is not clear because you have no idea who you are. There's nothing but illusions and deceit and manipulations and spell work. And your body is going to show it. Your cells are going to show it. Your organs are going to show it because all you've done is hide and lie and defame and blame and project and deflect and all of these wounded things. And then you wonder why your body is the way it is, and you wonder why your brain is the way it is, and you wonder why you're having tower after tower after tower after tower, because it's time for you to sit down and know. Your thought, your word, and your deed, you are manifesting, and it's nobody's fault but yours. Those people that are enforced into programs and agendas, like I was, like the children are, into trafficking agendas and RICO crimes where they're being sold back and forth and they have no idea they're being sold. They have no idea that they're in false marriages. They have no idea that any cult or coven ass thinks that they can put their name on a piece of paper and say, I own her. Bullshit. You don't have a right to anybody's soul. You're delusional. You need to be assessed, and you need to sit down and think and really say out loud the things that you're thinking in your head, because it's enslavement, it's entrapment, and it's no different than the white and the black that had their stories long, long ago. Just a different level of enslavement. It's called bigotry. It's called church and state enslavement. Those with money and those with elitism and those that think that they have zero connection with God, zero connection with their conscience, zero connection with their higher self, they would have their higher self if their higher self hit them in the nose. That's how disconnected, this is how abhorrent things have gotten. And you have to ask yourself again, is this the highest level of intelligence? And is this going to allow me to be in the highest version of me? And when it comes time for me to pass over into another realm of the heavenly realm, which most of these people will not meet the heavenly realm. They will stay in the lower realms of darkness because they have not redeemed their soul. They have not done the work. Your soul's progression is everything. If you want the heavenly status, you need to clear your soul. You need to do unto others. And if you haven't done unto others, you will not get into that heavenly realm. You simply won't. You could read your Bible 100 times. It won't make you, you're not going to get there, dear lighted ones. Your soul progression is filled with nothing but darkness and mud and poor choices because you chose not to heal. You chose not to face who you are. And you chose to hurt another person that didn't deserve it. All that you do to others is manifesting in your life right now. So choose very consciously. Are you going to live from your heart space with compassion and openness and forgiveness, or will you continue on your dark path of dark occult practices and corruption? Everybody that is in a corruptive experience by choice, and you know who you are, if you're involved in blackmailing, if you're involved in spiritual blackmailing, if you're involved in corrupt churches, if you're involved in black magic and voodooism and all of those things where you're affecting and interfering with other people's lives, if you're a Mason doing sacrifices, if you're anybody doing sacrifices, if you're an MK Ultra, if you're in Project Stargate type of agendas, none of you will move forward. And you will stay exactly where you will stay until you make it right with Source Creator, your godliness. Go to the authorities and speak what you know. And start logging what you know and what you're going through and reclaim your power. Nobody will ever own me. Nobody will ever take from me. Nobody will ever harvest from me. And no cords will ever be bound to me. I will not take on an ounce of anybody else's karma. That's your job. You chose your patterns. You chose your decisions and your choices. It's your karma. And there is, absolutely make no mistake about it, because my ancestors are 10 toes down and I got legions joining me every day to ensure that I will move forward. I am very important in the multiverse and I'm going to keep speaking on it. Any negative, dark occult, magic, voodooism, anybody trying to scheme, take, and steal from me, from the years that I've been bringing forward the dark occult systematic abuses to suppress and silence me and make me go away as if I was never here, the Truman Show, everybody benefiting off me but me while I sit homeless and not 10 cents in my pocket, you absolutely know that your karma, it will come to you that very same day, and it's going to be tenfold, and you deserve where you sit. There is no mercy anymore. The windows are closed, the doors are closed, there will be no more cycles. So everybody from the past, right up to the top fucking dogs, the top dogs that are paying YouTube to silence me, the top dogs that are paying everybody to make me go away. I'm not going to go away. You're not ranked. I am. And I will heal millions and billions on this planet, however God chooses. And I will move as God will move me. And your issues are your issues. Get healed. Because if you're paying people to silence me, you ain't godly on any level. And you will sit where you will sit. And you will see if Satan will pull you through in the last minute when your soul needs to be redeemed. I'm telling you right now, it won't. You don't understand, and you've been misguided and you've been misinformed. You don't know anything. Satanic worshipers, you better understand what you're doing. sacrificial workers and those that are doing ritual work, and those of you that are touching on children and those of you that are organ transferring and trafficking, you better know what you're doing, because you're going to get karma, karma, karma daily, because this is my garden now and I'm calling it, and I'm calling judgment on it daily. And if you force yourself into my lane, you're going to wish you hadn't. I know who I am, and I got legions behind me. Why? Because I'm changing this world, and I'm changing this galaxy, and I'm changing this planet, and I'm changing this multiverse. That's how powerful I am. It has nothing to do with ego on any level. I'm connected with every speck of dirt on this planet. This is my home. And she will move into 5D, and her children will be protected and cared for, and they will not be touched. And if you refuse to heal your wound, and you keep going to the children to touch on them, and you keep going to the innocent ones to get their light and to get their innocence, to cloak you in your bad deeds, you'll be one of the first to be moved off. These are just the ways, dear lighted ones. Quantum light is quantum light. And if you can't keep up to the bare minimum of this quantum energy, of the omnipresent, of the omnipotent, of the God saying, this is God, I am God, I'm showing you who you are you going to match me? Are you going to match me? Are you going to match me? That's called the omnipotent. Are you going to match the omnipotent? Are you going to match God? Are you going to wrap your little beliefs around the misguidances that you've been told to make the universe try and thwart its way around your small beliefs? It's not gonna. And you're going to keep getting towers, and I'm going to keep telling you, don't touch me. Because it's going to come back tenfold, and you're all going to know it, and you're all going to feel it, and you're all going to say, what the hell? That's the hell you created, because we told you 3 years ago, stop, return what you stole, and stop coming in my lane, and stop doing the magic. Because you don't have a right to put my name in your mouth. The cycles are closed off, the contracts are broken, the contracts are burned, there is no contract with anybody in the past. You lost access. Now go heal. I will have a new soulmate that will be loving and kind and will protect me and will never do spell work on me. I will have a soulmate that will never, ever bring danger to the children and to their wife and to their spouse and to their partner. Because they understand, if I am lifted, so too is he. If I am lifted, so too is the planet. If I am lifted, then so too is all life. If I am lifted, so too is the abundance factor. Why do you think divine feminine are so needed on this planet, dear lighted ones? Because we birth life. So if you take away life, what do you have? One more time, extinction. Now, how smart is that? How wise is that? How wise are these 3D leaders? God has a plan, dear lighted ones. Ain't nobody touching me. And we can keep telling you that if you like, or you can keep manifesting your towers. Again, hit your head against the wall 1,000 times, then what? Then what? Then what? Then what? How many black magic spells are you going to do, and then what? 1,600 rituals have been done on my life, and you're still not learning your lesson. Over 45 sacrifices have been done on my life, and you're still not learning your lesson. Millions have been spent to try and take me out and silence me and make me look like I'm crazy, and you still haven't learned your lesson. And each and every one of you put my name on a piece of paper and defame me and bring blasphemy. You're going to get karma times 10 times 10 times 10, even worse every day, because we keep telling you, and God said enough is enough. I get my right to be free and safe and live as I wish. I've gone through my testing, I've gone through my initiations, and the only compass that I belong with is God. Period, point blank. Get out of my way. I'm ancients and I'm futures, and I have my right to be here. And those that want to learn higher vibrational teachings are going to stay, and they're going to follow, and they're going to come with me. Because I'm taking people through the 5D gates if they so choose, and if they don't, stay behind. But you don't have a right to take anybody down to hell with you. You want to be in self-hate? Be there, but you ain't going to take people with you. And that's God's promise to everybody on this planet. If you choose to have eternal life, then choose it. Choose it with vibration. Choose it with excitement. Choose it with your meaningness. And stand in it. Speak life into your life. And stop focusing on other people. Get out of people's lanes, people. Get out of their lanes. It's not your business. Other people's business is not your business. And any group, cult, or coven, any government that focuses on other people's business, you know they're not guided. You know that they're not directed by Source Creator. It has nothing to do about anybody else's business. It never did. So that's how you know that they're aligned or not aligned. You either are aligned or you're not aligned. And what is alignment, people? What is alignment, people? What is alignment? We talk about it every show. What is alignment? You should know it by now. Connection and relationship. Are you connected to your higher self and God? Are you have a relationship with God? Do you have a relationship with who you are as God? Do you have a relationship with your higher self? Do you talk to your higher self? Do you talk to your guides? Do you talk to your healing teams? Do you talk to your celestial teams? Do you talk to Gaia? Do you have a relationship with Gaia? That's why you're misguided. That's why you're flip-floppy. That's why you're in chaos. That's why you're manifesting towers, because you're not aligned. I can keep saying the same thing. My books are all about alignment. Will you practice Ascension pathwork? Do you care about your soul's progression? Do you care about who you are with God? Do you care about who you are with creation? Stop giving your power away. These are basic truths. Basic. Very basic. You cannot grow in consciousness if you cannot get the basic truths. Do unto others. Why is there even a black web? Why is there even a black web? Somebody answer that for me. Why is there a black web? Why are there the RICO crimes in every city and every community? Why is that? The officials know that there are RICO crimes going on in their cities. Why is that? Why are the officials being paid to look the other way and turn a blind eye to things that are going on in their city? Why is that? It goes back to alignment. They're not aligned. They have no connection and they have no relationship. They have no idea who they are. So they'd rather take money than understand that they will never be back for another 3D timeline, and they have sealed their children's fate into staying in lower 3D realms. There will never be ever another 3D body on a planet Earth. Earth is moving and shifting into 5D. Are you moving with the 5D consciousness or not? It is that simple. There's not going to be an infinite number of Earths for you to get these lessons of basic do unto others. These are the very most basic laws that should have been learned before the crucifixion of Jesus. And here we are talking about the same things. Divine feminine are nowhere to be seen in our collective. The children are trafficked and used as sex toys, and used as little toys and tokens for the elite Hunger Games that humans play, on targeting and stalking and spying and putting bids and numbers on their names and seeing how much they go for in the underground stock. And then they make snuff videos to exploit the suffering that they put these innocent, beautiful people through. And these beings that come through, like myself, are here to save humanity in different ways. And we each have different gifts to show you different ways to move forward in light and in love of self. And what's wrong with love of self? What's wrong with finding the godliness within? What's wrong with having a higher vibrational God? What's wrong with transcending 5,000 years of things that weren't working and they show you not working and the leaders aren't working for you? Then what? And what's wrong with having a different way of thinking about things, thinking about life, thinking about love, thinking about who you are as a multivibrational being of Metatronic light? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What in any of my teachings in the 750 videos that I have put in nothing but higher consciousness, nothing but higher consciousness, I speak the same things as Daniel, I speak the same things as Lee Carroll, I speak the same thing as Daryl Anka. I am the same channel as every other one of those, except God's placed me to be a conduit to see all realms, to see all ways. I am a seer. I'm a seer of the conduit. I am a conduit of the Mother, Father, God. And God has a mission for me. Why can't I be on that mission? Why can't I be on that? And what 3D person thinks they have a fucking right to say who I am and what I can be and what I can be seen and who can see me and who cannot see me? Who the hell has their right? They don't. I haven't given permission on anybody. There ain't been no papers I signed about anybody, for anybody. I don't have a joint bank account. I have nothing with nobody. The only thing I signed is my divorce. I'm going to speak my life into creation, dear lighted ones. Nobody has a fucking ounce on my life. And you never will. You're not going to touch me. You're not going to harvest off me. You're not going to put your little fucking cords on me. Everybody has been told. Understand what you're doing in your satanic rituals, in your voodooist practices, in your dark occult practices. You're going into entropy and you're going to get your way out. Because that's the only way that can quantumly work. Dark equals dark. Secret equals secret. Hidden equals hidden. And it's going to keep staying that way, and you're going to keep yourself manifesting yourself backwards. That's your choice. Your brain's going to go backwards. Your body's going to go backwards. Your cells are going to go backwards. You're not giving it any light. You're not giving it any work to move forward, to expand, and to accelerate, and to be excited, and to bring in everything that is an E. You're not enhancing, you're not empowering, you're not encouraging, there's no engagement, there's no relationship, there's no connection. So what would you expect otherwise? Or you're just going to steal it. You're just going to harvest it. You're just going to swap destinies with somebody and ruin their Akash. You come at me with 1,000 people at the same time doing your satanic rituals, and each and every one of you 1,000, we're going to get your magic right back. And you can gather 2,000 the next day and 5,000 the next day, and there's going to be 10-fold, 100,000-fold. That's how important I am, dear lighted ones. And I don't care if you don't believe. I don't care. You can keep doing your little practices all you want. And what is that going to do? And is that smart? Is that intelligent for you? I'm still here after 1,600 rituals on my life. And what is that telling you, dear lighted ones? Should we break it down per day? The fabricated birth documents, should we break that down? You didn't think I was going to figure out who I was. You didn't think I was going to tap into my own magic. You didn't think I was going to align with God one more time. You didn't think I was going to align to my highest destiny one more time, did you? Because your story is not my story. I don't measure myself to your stories. then I'm going to sit and bow to, and I'm going to be broken by some person that thinks they want me to be their domination matrix of their little sex orgies and their little sex covens so they can harvest the fuck out of me. Yeah, that's a story I want to align with. No, I think my dreams are a bit bigger. I can do bad all on my own. And those people that called themselves friends and families, they did nothing but use me and abuse me and throw me aside and laugh and blaspheme me and make fun of me and poke fun at me. Nobody lifted me a hand. Not one person, not 1 ounce, not one drop, not one penny. And go look at my bank records. Go look at my phone records. It's proof. Ain't nobody gave me a drop. And God made sure, because when I am finally blessed, ain't nobody going to get an ounce of it. And God made very sure you were all moved out of the way. And now you're going to come back and pretend like we're friends and we're pals and you want to make something right because you know God's going to bless me no matter what, no matter how many rituals you throw at me. Because why? Because I'm truth. And I stay out of people's lanes. And I teach people that want to be taught. I lift people that want to be lifted. I save people that want to be saved. They do the work. They align. Therefore, thus, then, I am that I am. And my counsel and my compass is only that of mother and father. So get out of my way. Your misogyny is your problem. Your hate is your problem. Your ego is your problem. Your secret satanic cults are your problem because they're misguided, misinformed, and wrong. There ain't nothing spiritual about any of that. It's about the abusive energy. It's the abusive spirituality. That's what that is. That's why it's all dark and secret. Quantum, remember the quantum equation, draw it out. Darkness equals darkness. What else would you expect? That's not spiritual. It's called spiritual abuse. And those that do such things, those that sacrifice, it's called premeditated murder, and it's criminal intent. Criminal intent is found in criminal abuse. It's premeditated murder. See you in criminal court. And it's 15 years to life in jail. Make no mistake about it, many will be charged. Because you don't have a right to touch another person's life because you want to get an insurance policy, or you want to get their spiritual gifts and their practice because somebody told you that that might be the thing. If we can do a destiny swap, maybe I'll get their gifts and skills, and maybe she's highly ranked. I'm just going to take on her high rankness without doing a thing about anything. With the treating people like crap, I'm going to take on her spiritual gifts and practices. No, this has been earned over 985 timelines. You think that's going to be given to a low vibrational warlock who doesn't know his elbow from his knee? Are you kidding me? There are spiritual orders, and it's all about quantum energy. You can't carry my light, dear lighted ones. You can't carry a good decision. Therefore, that's then you ain't going to carry my light. You ain't going to carry my gifts. Spiritual gifts of higher order will not be swapped with a lower vibrational underground black web cult. You're not understanding the quantum makeup here. You're not understanding the quantum design. Elite soul harvesting, you're done. Trafficking rings are done. RICO rings are done. These are corruptive rings and they are abuse of all sacred life. It's done. This is my garden now. You either alter course or have your towers. It's your choice. I'm calling it. And I will bring the prediction forward every day, every week. Because nobody has the right to suffer because of people's poor choices and sit in their wounding because they want to sell somebody else's organ. You don't have a right. You don't have a right to touch somebody else's chakra systems or their spirit. You don't have a right to go tunneling into their dreams at night and raping them. You don't have a right, and I'm calling you on it. Get used to the universal laws at all that is. We are quantum now, and we are moving into more omnipresent. We are moving into more God light. Every day we are being bathed with light. That's God's plan, and we're moving forward into 5D. Get to know your universal laws. You shouldn't be practicing magic if you don't know your laws. There is spiritual order, and it's going to take place about your soul's progression. Do you care about progression, yes or no? If you think you're going to be back in another 3D timeline, you're wrong. You're wrong. We will be ascended within 15 years, and that will be 5D. There ain't no more 3D timelines left, dear lighted ones. You either get it, do unto others, or you're moving. Step aside. You made your choice. Unity consciousness, do unto others. Unity consciousness is we are one and one is all. Behave this way, yes or no. Your Epstein agendas, your church and state agendas will not take you there because they don't know anything about consciousness. They don't get consciousness. They don't understand God consciousness. So be it. It's a lesson. It's fine. Consciousness is, who are you in the image of Mother, Father, God? Who are you? So if you're writing off divine feminine, then you're not God consciousness. You're misogynist. So face it. Face your misogynist shadow. Heal it. Work with it. Love it. Bring it back into wholeness with your divine feminine energies. You can't heal yourself unless you pull in your universal divine feminine intuitiveness and healingness and givingness and receiving. That's divine feminine. Everything I teach is absolutely 100% true. You either choose to be healed and whole or not. When you are healed and whole, you have access to your gifts and skills of all of your soul fragments. That's how you obtain ranking. That's how you obtain your initiations, and only your higher self and only God initiates you. Because you have to prove to your higher self and you have to prove to your soul that you actually want to heal yourself. You want those gifts of all your soul fragments, and you're going to use it for the greater good. Duh. Otherwise, why heal yourself? When you heal yourself, you love yourself enough to say, these are my gifts. I've earned them in 985 timelines, and they're my gifts. I reclaim my power. And nobody's going to take my gifts from me. They're my gifts. I've earned them. I stood up every time somebody said, sit down. I spoke my truth when everybody said, shut up. I get up even though YouTube silences me every day, and I haven't had an ounce of growth in 8 years. And I've had no money sent to me on any level. When all of these misogynists, low vibrational warlocks and witches and voodooists think that they can take me and swap my name here and there for their gain and their selfishness and their orgy parties. Are you kidding me? I've earned my ranking, dear lighted ones, and I'm going to keep talking about it because it's going to inspire you. Are you going to heal or not? That's the only way you get your ranking, is by your own healing. Integrate your lessons. It's very simple. It's very point blank. And everybody's been confused about all their church and their state and their laws and their rules and their cults and their covens and who said this and who said it doesn't mean anything. It's the lowest umbrella. The highest umbrella is you are in the image of Mother, Father, God, yes or no? You are a multidimensional being of the multiverse, yes or no? You have access to eternal life, yes or no? You can choose to heal yourself, yes or no? Your commandmentship of your multidimensional bodies, heart, mind, body, and soul, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, is yours and yours only, yes or no? You don't have the right to touch another spirit or another soul or another body, yes or no? Do unto others, yes or no? Are you a part of the multiverse, yes or no? Who is your commander? Thyself and thyself only, my compass is God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I have access to 1,000 times of my lifetime in a body and a not body and a consciousness and a higher consciousness and the light and in the song and the harmonics and in the color that is Mother, Father, God. I come in female bodies, I come in male bodies of all aspects, all realms, all planets, all dimensions. Right up to the 13th dimension is one local universe. I am the multiverse. I come in all bodies, all forms. I am the multiverse. I am that I am. I am Ra. I am the sun. I am the sacred seed. I know who I am. I work with it every day. I work with it every day. I work with it every day. That is my enmeshment. I know who I am. Who are you? My business is my business. My business is not your business. Focus on you and see what happens. There's just a quantum equation, dear lighted ones. Where are you quantumly focusing? Where are you quantumly putting your energy in your direction of your energy? These are the higher truths, and I'm speaking about them. You're going to break through all of the patterns that were before, because if you want to be higher consciousness, you got to break free from all the patterns. You got to break free from what you've been doing that's keeping you small. You got to break free from all of those little things that make you not want to exhale and make you not want to inhale. You are the inhale, you are the exhale, it is all equal. You are divine feminine energy, you are divine masculine energy. Who are you? At any point in time, what are your energies showing you? What are your weaknesses and what are your strengths? And how can you become a full harmonized being in this now moment to churn yourself into something new? Churn, C-H-U-R-N. You're constantly churning. You're constantly alchemizing. In this now moment of your highest consciousness state, who are you? You are a teacher. You are a healer. You are a leader. You've been here many times. Stand up and speak. Grasp the skies that you were born from, dear lighted ones. It's a part of you. The planets and all the multiverse are a part of you. The oceans are a part of you. The heavens and the sky are a part of you. How dare we discriminate in the ways that we have on this planet? To say that children are not needed, divine feminine have no voice, and there's no leadership of a divine feminine anywhere to be seen in anyhow and anywhere for 5,000 years. Who says that's okay? Who says church and state are all that is? And how is it that anybody in their mind can pay $1 billion company, $450 billion company, that is YouTube, and these church and state elite people are paying YouTube on top of their billions behind them, when there's children being trafficked left, right, and center,
And this one divine feminine that has 2,000 subscribers and moves little wormies off to the wormy field and knows God consciousness in the only way that she knows God consciousness and has survived 1,600 death threats and sacrifices and suicide rituals on her life and lives homeless. And you think that I don't have a fucking right to come forward and speak about my life. And God's going to lift me tenfold. And you're going to keep getting towers. I'm calling judgment on every person that's paying YouTube, every person that's messing with my videos, every person that's messing with my uploads, every person that's messing with my dates on the upload dates, anybody that touches my life to make sure that you're getting away with your crimes. You're going to keep getting karma. I'm calling judgment, and my voice matters. Why? Because that's my ranking. This is my planet now. This is my garden. Because I care about every speck of sand, I care about every droplet of water, I care about every tree, I care about every animal that's being abused and the children that are being abused along with them. And I'm not leaving here until my job is done. That's my mission. And the legions will support me a jillionfold. I don't got to prove nothing. It's the churning, dear lighted ones, and we're entering into 5D, and I'm teaching of it, and I have my rights. Learn about it or step aside. I don't care. I'm going to move forward in who I am. That's my right. I will have a beautiful new family. I will have a beautiful new soulmate, and I will be loved, and I will be seen, and I will be celebrated by those that so choose to see the beauty in me that has always been who I am. I'm an unconditional teacher, healer, seer, conduit of the divine. I speak with spirit unseen. I speak with worlds unseen. I speak with energies unseen. That's my job. And I love my job. I love God, and God loves me. I speak of the God that is so gentle. I speak of the God that lifts me and celebrates me. I speak of the God that dances with me every night. I speak of the God that says, it's going to be a little bit bumpy, but we're going to get through this. Are you okay here, dear? And I say, yes, God. And God lifts out the hand to me, and I see God give me his hand. And the mother stands there, and she holds her heart with just precious, loving nurturance to let me know that she's always loving me and giving to me and nurturing me. And the Father is teaching me how to be the best leader that I can be, because the Father has given me unto me gardens that I have earned over thousands and thousands of lifetimes. Why? Because there's nobody on this planet that cares more and cries more for the innocent and the innocent life on this planet. Whether it be the flowers, whether it be the tiny little bugs and insects, whether it be the children that cry at night, because nobody's paying them the fuck amount of attention they deserve. This is my planet and my garden, and I cry for it, because it's been so horribly abused by misguidance and misinformation, misogyny, separation, discrimination, blasphemy. Those that say they're godly, they're not godly, they're just hiding in secret. Because they can't face the wounding of their own sexuality and their own sexual debauchery and their own sexual dysfunction and their own sexual this and sexual that, and they've separated themselves right from spirit. They don't know who they are. They're just hiding. And when someone comes along with great light and great truth and says, this is how it is, it's quite simple, boom, 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 are you going to ascend or not? And they get a little triggered. And then they'll do whatever they can to attack and silence and take her out and MK Ultra her and make her go into poverty and make her squash all of her finances and make nobody go to her and bring up the most horrible lies, like she's some sort of porn addict and she's some sort of drug addict, and they'll make fake documents and fake medical records, and they'll do whatever they can to make her look like she's nothing but who she says she is. And did you notice, dear lighted ones, I haven't lifted a finger. It's been all God. My work speaks for itself. My truths are true. My voice is that of the heavens and the godly plan, and as God chooses for the collective to know it, the collective will know it. And my passion is to teach about things unseen, just as Jesus did. For if you cannot understand earthly things, and the quantum things about life of back and forth and what you do matters, how you play matters, then how are you ever going to understand the heavenly things that I will speak? The basic things, dear lighted ones, can you understand that? How you actually play matters. How you play this game, it matters, because it's your soul's progression. Every word, thought, and deed is seen by the heavens, and you are tested. Will you speak up and do the right thing when it's called for? Will you stand up for someone that's been abused? Will you do the right thing? Will you sign the right pieces of paper when they're meant to be signed for the right justices? Or will you be bought and sold out? Everybody's being tested. It doesn't matter about the bars on your badge. It doesn't matter about the bars in your bank account. That means nothing to the heavens. You can't take it with you. It means nothing. What matters is how you play. Will you stop for the lowly? Will you lift a hand when it's called? Will you give those encouragement when they don't know any other way? Will you show those to face their shadow and say, there's nothing wrong with it, just move through it. You can do it. Get up. Get up for the 100th time because I've got up too. Get up. You can do this. Face your shadow and do the right thing. Go to the authorities, tell what you know. Never stand down to lesser. Never stand down to blackmail. They blackmail you because they think they have power over you. But what if that blackmail was nothing at all? It's just a story you need to face. So face it. Then there's no blackmail. They have no leverage. Blackmail is just a matter of leverage and control. So take it away from them. Go about your story. Sing it loud and clear and wide. Why? Because there's been over 1,700 lies told about me. And I've carried all those lies right from the day I was born. They're not my lies. I didn't choose them. I didn't say them. I didn't put them on a birth certificate. I didn't fill out those forms. I transmuted and I carried them. I carried everything for the collective. I'll transmute it 100 times over. It ain't my lies. It ain't my story. I can transmute anything. I can face any devil. Bring it. Been in poverty. What other lies you got from me? That I'm a drug addict. I'm a porn person. And it'll be proven over and over and over again. They're just false images. They're lies. They're blasphemy. That's not who I am. My vibration speaks ringing true. And my vibration pierces every ounce of darkness, and that's why I'm ranked. Because if I say a trafficking ring is going down, it's going down. And within 48 hours, there will be proof of that trafficking ring coming down. That's ranking, dear lighted ones. I move mountains. My speech has essence. That's practiced. That's what I teach you. Alignment is practiced. And God sees that which is practiced in goodwill and honor to all life, the sacred and the sweet and the lowly, when nobody's watching. So say whatever you may say about me. I don't give a fuck. I practice when nobody is watching. There ain't been nobody beside me, ever. I do as I do, and I am as I am. And I will always reach out to the insects. I will always reach out to the children. I will always care about the trees and the animals. That's my ranking, dear lighted ones, and this is my garden. And she will be seeded with love and nourishment and compassion. Those that are doing the unsacred with sacred life, you're going to have your own karma, and that is needed. Your cycle must come to a close. There will be no raping and pillaging and trafficking on this planet. Those are old world ways. Get healed. And every day, there will be evidence of such. For the Father's plan is. The Mother's will is. These are new gardens, and this is 5D, New Earth Star. We will be the highest creative collective ever seen in this galaxy, because we have faced the darkest, and we will get up. And that's our way. So I thank you, dear lighted ones. This session has been about breaking free of limitations and segregations and discriminations and anything that holds you back into a pattern. Break every pattern, dear lighted ones. Pay attention to your body and love your body. Love those next to you because they're aspects of you. Reach out and do the miraculous and call forward new beginnings and higher order every day. For the truth is but a sword that is straight. Speak it and know it and live it. That is the straightness of being you. And bow to none that say that that's less than. How can it be? Truth is truth. And it will be lifted. And God will show all. I haven't lifted a finger. I've merely just stayed in who I am. God said that's all that's needed. That's all that needed. I just stay who you are. Let me do the work. God's doing the work. God's showing everybody. I just stay being me. 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 And I'm going to get up and I'm going to get up and I'm going to get up. And if I don't eat today, so be it. God will take care of me. These are things that aren't taught in church and state, dear lighted one. I am the vibration of the Holy Creator. And so too are you. Will you practice it? Will you practice your healing? Will you practice your connection? Will you practice your relationship with Spirit? Relationship with Spirit is in everything at every moment. Every breath, every inhale, every exhale. That is your relationship with Spirit. Write it down. Practice it. My relationship with Spirit is in my inhale. My practice with my Spirit is in my exhale. My practice with my Spirit is my communication with my higher self today. I want to connect with my higher self today. Pure intention of your heart space. Open up your heart space and say with pure intention, I'm calling forward my higher self. Please, higher self, please walk with me today. That you are with me in any way that you can. I want to have expectations of miracles in you, of you, with you, through all life. Whether it be a bird, whether it be an animal, whether it be color, anything that the higher self can speak to me today, bring it true. And may I hear the soft, beautiful voice that is my higher self within me. May I connect deeply in relationship and alignment with my higher self. May I connect with this soft voice to heal my body and to heal my cells, to heal my patterns. I am the commandmentship of me, and my body is healthy and youthful. And I can return to the age of whatever age I want. And I can eradicate disease from my body because I am the commandmentship of me. I want my higher self to work with me. I want my higher self to work with me in the alignment of the highest version of Mother, Father, God, and my body is all goosebumpily right now. Why? Because I'm enmeshed with my higher self. And it will show you every time that you're connected as spirit. And you'll get goosebumpily, and you'll get the chills, and you'll be shaken all inside and out. And that's the spiritual orgasm that you're meant to have to show you that you are one with God. And ain't no church and state ever taught you that. That's godly. So get connected, dear lighted ones, and practice it every day. That's how you heal. That's how you stay in commandmentship. That's how you become a leader of you. And there ain't no more important job, is there? There's no more important job, dear lighted ones, and teach the children. The children's voice matter. If they say no, it means no. If they're telling you about stories that have hurt their soul, then listen to them and find them healing and find them expressive, creative outlets. These children are here to lift the world, dear lighted ones, and they should never and they will never be used, and their organs will stay inside their body and they will not be touched. And everybody's getting karma that uses and abuses children, that uses and abuses organs of others they have no right to, and puts names on pieces of paper and transfers them back and forth for money. Karma, 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 you've all been told. Time's up. This is a new garden, and each and every one of us are seeding it. What is your garden going to look like? And may it bear good fruit. Thank you, dear lighted ones. And we say namaste, dear sisters and dear brothers. I have about 3 or 4 pages of notes, but we got off on our little channel. We thank so much the Mother and the Father. Thank you so much, dear Father. Thank you so much, Mother and Father. I love you. Talk with your teams every day. Do your healing sessions at nighttime. Make sure that you're doing your Ascension pathwork. And if anybody wants a session, a lecture, or class, a webinar, please book the sessions through PayPal. Book your sessions, book your sessions, book your sections. I'm very, very excited. Maybe our next video, we're going to talk about the visions that I had about the multi-vibrational veils that are coming down and moving into quantum, galactic, celestial, cosmic energies. So I had some really wonderful visions. Maybe I'll write about it in my blog post today. So we love you, dear lighted ones. Make sure that you're doing your light work. Make sure you're doing your breath work. Connect with your higher self. Everybody has a higher self. Start connecting and start doing your work with them every day. Your higher self loves you so much, and your higher self is the only being that's going to guide you through your ascension path work. We love you, dear lighted ones. Namaste. We love you. I love you. I love you all.